Hi there everyone, welcome to my new YouTube channel and my only YouTube channel, MC Procrastinator. Hopefully if you guys have clicked on this, you've probably seen that I've got a Honda CBR 1000RR and that you have an interest in motorcycles, motorcycle news, reviews, parts and accessories, and anything related along the motorcycle, and you just enjoy spending time watching YouTube videos, preferably ones that are interesting, perhaps unlike myself. However, without further ado, let's talk about the bike, and then we'll start to build a picture of what this channel's about, and I guess sort of work with that, create content, and see where that takes us, or me. Right, so without further ado, here she is, Honda CBR 1000RR. You can see she is a beautiful looking bike. In fact, she's absolutely gorgeous. Not only is she gorgeous, but she is absolutely amazing to ride. You know, I've watched a few YouTube channels now through YouTube, funny enough, about Honda CBRs, and pretty much in every video they will say that it is a fantastic all-round super great bike. And it is, it really is. So to give you an idea on the type of traveling I do, actually, in fact, before we even do that, let's have a quick walk around the bike. Okay. So, right now we have a black CBR in front of us. You can see there's lots of, there's lots of like red stripes across it. So I like to do things to bikes to try and make them a little bit me, like we all do, right? Whether that be stickers on a bike, whether that be new wheels, aftermarket parts, etc., etc. This is what I've done. So, red stickers to put a bit of bling and me feel into the bike. On the back here, just at the back wheel, we can see I've got Ohlins rear suspension damper, which is an adjustable suspension damper that actually came off my 2011 Repsol that I had, which you may or may not have seen in my channel. And then walking around, you can see that it's a standard Honda CBR. Other than that, got a little gold brake levers there. And, oh, I'm sorry, actually, while I remember, I've also got just at the back there, the Yoshimura race cam, which is carbon fiber. So, right, let's think about my traveling, as I mentioned. So I do, which I originally hadn't planned to do, 80-90 Ks a day. So in the space of having this bike for around about 3.5 months, 4 months, I put on approximately 4,000 Ks. So I've done a lot of Ks. Now obviously I haven't ridden the bike every single day. One, if it's chucking down with rain and it's blowing a gale, unless I get caught in it, I usually take preventive measures and opt to take the missus' car in. That aside, very often I do get caught in rain because New Zealand, Wellington weather is, as much as this place is fantastic, it can be so changeable. And when it changes, it's usually not for the better. So, that aside, I do quite a lot of Ks. Now, when I purchased this bike, it was quite a complicated scenario, all right? And you might be saying, well, why would it be a complicated scenario? Because I went from a bike that I actually really loved, and that was a 2011 Honda Repsol. And why did I change that? Well, because I was going to be doing more Ks. I actually didn't think I was going to do as much Ks as I was, but I was going to be doing more Ks. So ultimately, 2011 versus 2015, I wanted something newer. I wanted something that I could put another like 40, 50,000 Ks in over maybe a couple of years and then change it for something else. You know, you got the reliability that goes with that, the cost, the maintenance, etc., etc. That brought with it a few issues because although I love this bike and I truly love the ride of this bike, in fact, I feel so at ease on this bike. This Honda CBR has brought out so much confidence in the way that I ride. And I kind of get really annoyed with myself that I have this horrible sensation horrible sensation is the wrong word. I have this horrible, I can't explain it, this feeling that the bike just doesn't hit the spots that I want. Right, so let's just imagine a quick list, right? Let's go performance, left-hand side. Great, this bike, every aspect of it. And for me, hey, 175 brake horsepower versus 200 brake horsepower R1, or BMW RR, that's I think 205 brake horsepower. Excuse me. Guess what? It's not as great performance to them. It's not got the same electronics as these guys, but can I ride to that ability? No. Performance for me and the way that it feels, rides, and smoothness is absolutely perfect for me. So that's not a problem. Really speaking, with regards to this bike, the problem really is in its preference thing. It's a personality thing. Comes back to that whole start process when you go looking for a bike. Usually incorporates this feeling inside you that, one, you're excited because you know, right, you've made that decision that you're looking for a bike. Whether you've just passed your test and you're going to buy a bike, whether you've got a bike and you're upgrading, whatever that scenario is, to you, this is a really important step. And it's something that you want to invest in that's going to mean something to you. Right? For the most part. Some people, I guess, buy bikes to go commuting. Some people buy bikes to go racing. But there's always going to be some form of shopping list, something that meets the requirements of that person. And this is where I find it so difficult. Look, I don't have lots and lots of money available to go out and buy a bike, change it, buy a bike, change it, buy a bike, change it. In a real life world, how I would, I guess, imagine if I had indisposable amounts of income, I would probably go buy a bike, go, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I love the look of it. Fantastic. Love the ride of it. And then go, oh, I like that one. Huh. That one's better because it's a V4 and it's not a inline 4. And, oh, this is torquey and it's got a different sound in it. Oh, I want that one. And then you get that bike, and then you get that bike for a wee while, and you go, whoa, oh, wouldn't this be nice to tour? And you see like a BMW GS, and then, you know, oh, well, I'll have that one, right? Well, in the real world, we don't have that option. So we try and, like, depending on our circumstance, we try and buy something that fits, I guess, as many of these requirements that we can. Unfortunately, I guess, I'm always second guessing and reverse engineering what I actually want, and I can't understand why I do that, and it is a little bit self-destructive and limiting and wasteful in regards to money. And it's certainly not, you know, it's like first world problems. You know, there's so much more shit in the world to deal with than having to deal with that. But I guess, you know, it comes down to if you work hard, you know, and you have things that make you feel good, you're happy to invest time and money into that. So this is what this dilemma is for me. In the last few years, well, actually, the space of time I've been riding, which is probably about 15, 16 years now, I've had quite a lot of bikes. And, you know, most of that's been progression, you know, like going from one bike to another, moving up size, moving up, trying to understand what I like and feel, situations change, etc., etc. And then I had like a few year hiatus when I came to New Zealand, went back, decided to get a degree in geology and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I couldn't live without a bike. I missed it and I opted to buy a bike. And it was just really on the whim one night, having a few drinks, purchased an Aprilia Tuono. And that Aprilia Tuono, just in the last couple of years, I went at Aprilia Tuono, then I went at GSXR 2004 models. Sorry, the Tuono was 2005. Then I went to GSXR, and the reason between that, the Aprilia was a fine bike, but it, you know, it was pretty rugged, powerful, and brutal. You know, my justification process for having that. Oh, look, I'll come away from sports bikes because I've pretty much always ridden sports bikes. And, you know, it's like more upright, it'd be great for town riding, especially in Wellington. You know, there's quite a lot of traffic, you know, it's great being able to filter through, you know, a Tuono better on your back. I have a bad bike, a bad back, I have a bad back sometimes. But, you know, I got that, and it lasted like, I think I lasted 3 months with it, to be absolutely honest. I just didn't enjoy it. It didn't feel like me. I did a lot of convincing to convince myself that I would like it. I almost, you know what? I'm almost better than any salesman at selling shit to myself, to be absolutely frank. So then I did the same process again. And you know, like I think about this. I can't be the only person that does this kind of stuff, right? You know, I can't be. And I feel that I'm not, because I watch some of the other YouTube channels like Duke of DC and stuff, right? Baron von Grumble. You know, like these guys, you know, they do some great reviews, and you know, like I find myself loving their content, you know, and but I see some of the things that I do with these guys, you know, like Baron von Grumble. How many bikes has that guy got, right? Like, he clearly has the same issues, but I guess he's got a little bit more exposure on disposable income to be able to deal with that, right? I don't. And, you know, like for me, I don't want to waste a multitude of money buying multiple bikes. I just want to try and find something that ticks the box for most things and can really make me feel real good, right? So anyway, so GSX-R 2004, then I said, well, you know, this has done a lot of Ks. I bought quite a high K GSX-R 2004. By the way, great bike, right? You can't go wrong with them. You know, it was smooth, it was nice. It's amazing actually how big and bulky they seem on that year compared to the newer stuff. You kind of forget, but it was a good bike. And yeah, so pretty much I you know, like decided that I was going to upgrade from that, and I went and got a Honda Repsol 2011 that had done, you know, considerably less Ks, and you know, looking back, I think about all the tick boxes, so I go, right, this is kind of my process. Right, first it needs to look great, right? Yeah, man, Honda CBR Repsol, it looks great. You know, it's a MotoGP replica, fantastic. It was the bike. I couldn't fault the bike how it looked, right? It's the sort of bike you take out, somebody looks at it and go, oh man, that's just amazing looking bike. And it was, right? So that ticked the box there, right? Performance ride, yeah, well, look, honestly, it was not much different from the 2015. Great again, smooth delivery, nice to ride, etc., etc. So then I changed jobs, and I was going to be popping up my Ks, you know, 80, 90 Ks a day, and I knew I was going to be doing lots of Ks, pretty much like I said earlier on, and I thought, well, you know what, maybe I need to look at getting something even up in the years again. You know, the 2015 I bought had a little bit of warranty left on it, and yeah, I mean, that wasn't the be-all and end-all. That seemed to make sense. I only had, well, I think it was 15,500 Ks at the time, and full service history. And I kind of thought, well, you know, first black wasn't my first colour. I seen it. I would have had another Honda Repsol. There was none about. I had a look, and you know, I think about it. I probably didn't need to change. Like honestly, do you know what? Looking back, I didn't need to change, but it was good fun changing. That feeling, you go out, look at a bike, oh, should I get that? Shall I get that? Shall I get that? Shall I get it? And you get that bike, and then you're like, oh, it's just amazing, such a good feeling. The day you go pick up the bike, you jump on the bike, you're a little bit, ooh, even though it's a similar sort of bike, it still feels slightly different to ride and stuff. But if nothing beats that, right? You know, just jump on a bike, crack it open, and then you're like, and then the novelty sort of wears off a wee bit because you're back into reality, back to your commute, back to your daily routine. And then, then importantly, I started to think, I have a bit of a problem, because when I went through all my process, one of the things that I subjectively succumbed to was I knew there wasn't any Repsol. So when I seen a black bike, I went, black. I don't like black, but I convinced myself black would be good. I can change, I can make black better, right? You know, it's like having a mate, right? And you're only mate with them because you think you can change them. Well, I mean, I don't do that, but some people do, right? You know, like they associate themselves with people and they always try and change them. Relationships are a huge thing. And that's the thing. And this is insane, right? Because it's almost like a bike to me is kind of like a second relationship, perhaps a third relationship, you know? I'm actually actively looking to, you know, not change them, take the bike for what it is, and it's perfect. And that's not really an ideal world, which is a huge problem. However, there are lots of things that can fix here. So this takes me on to the blackness of my bike. You can see, explained earlier, I've got little red stripes there, it glows in the dark, and it's kind of cool, right? But it's not really what I want. It's, you know, it's not got the me factor in it. That's it. That's the crux of it. It's not got the me factor in it. It doesn't. I don't pull up. Whilst there, you know, I actually do. Say that I do pull up, and people go, "Oh wow, actually, mate, that's a really cool bike. What is it?" You know, and they talk to me about it and stuff. And that's great. You know, that's fantastic. That's actually what I want. But for some odd reason, I don't feel like that inside. Which, again, back to first world problems, kind of ridiculous thing to say. So ultimately, the bike's up for sale, and I would recommend to anybody that's looking to buy a Honda Repsol, especially actually if you're looking to upgrade from something like a, you know, first bike 300, 600 or whatever into this 1000 category, I don't think you can go wrong. You know, the control, the power delivery, the way it rides is, you know, it's not going to scare you, and it would be a really good bike to improve your safety. You get good experience from it. Feel like you feel that you can enjoy riding without feeling there's going to be a huge consequence. I would definitely recommend it. So, happy to tie things up right now, and I'll post some more videos, and I will sort of, you know, I'm going to look at some new bikes. I'm going to decide what I want to replace this one, which is going to be quite hard. I don't really want to go to something like the new Honda CBR. I don't want to buy a new bike. It's probably going to be a year old, and I may even look again at the Aprilia Tuono. So happy to hear your thoughts, your feedback. Maybe one of the things you say to me is I need to slow down because being Scottish I talk reasonably fast. Do apologise for that. And hopefully it's not too boring, and I'll put some more shots of the bike on there and perhaps jump on it, take it for a ride, film it, and then we'll go from there. All right, thanks a lot guys, take care, bye.